Hello, everybody, and welcome to the THC Tutors. I'm Noah, and today we're going to do a little tent talk. I'm with Giacomo today,
What's up, guys?
and we're, just going to get straight into it. Nothing really else to talk about. Thank you guys for the recent support that we've been having over our podcast. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So, Giacomo, I got to ask you, you have been FaceTiming me a lot lately because there's a lot happening in your life, a lot
That's
happening in
true.
your grow. And
It's
so,
true.
yeah, get right into it, man. I want to hear it. The viewers want to hear it. They've been seeing it on the Instagram. So let's
So
see it.
yeah, I've been posting a lot on the Instagram. I've been popping beans. So I soaked my beans for 24 hours in a cup of water, left them in a little dark place. I literally put them in the back of my closet, just left them there. And then I popped those straight into some Floraflex little, what are they called? The incubator cubes.
I think they're called like 50/50s.
Yeah, they're called the 50/50 incubator cubes. They go in the incubator. And so I did 1313, half raining guavas, half bananas and guava from iBean Poppin'. Check them out on IG. Super dope. First time running the genetics from iBean, but they popped in 48 hours. So the raining guavas are killing it. The bananas and guava coming a little bit slower, but it's not a big deal. It's only been 48 hours.
Real quick before we go on, I know I cut you off, but you said you did you put the seeds into just a cup of water in a dark place. No paper towel, right? No paper towel.
No.
You planted them. So tell us, because our last tent talk, I was talking about how I germinated with a paper towel. People might be a little bit confused on the differences.
So I used to put them in a paper towel and then leave them in a paper towel for like a week in like a windowsill and then just pop them right into the soil. But I don't know. I found that I killed a couple of those plants from like just being too like aggressive and just like pinching them too hard. So I saw like a lot of other growers just putting their beans in a cup of water and just leaving it there for like 24 hours. And then they would just put them right into the soil. So
it seemed to work, right?
Yeah,
it really seemed to work.
It worked super well.
Has every single bean popped?
No, I think I have like 5 or 6 beans from the raining guavas right now that have actually popped. And then you can see some, like, if you look into the holes, you can see some that are like getting ready to come out within like the next 24, 48 hours.
Well, that's awesome. I've seen that way done too a lot, and it seems to work for a lot of people. And it actually seems like the most, the simplest way. We forgot to talk about it in our like original how to grow thing, but it is a way to do it. So for our viewers out there that are a little bit confused, it is, just put it in the cup of water in a dark place and then just straight plant
usually. Exactly. Dump out some water and then you just go grab them out, plop them in the soil.
So, yeah. So you have how many seeds running?
I have 26 seeds running right now.
And where are you going to grow those? I heard you had a 2x2. Where are you growing all these seeds, man?
Yeah, so the plan that me and Noah came up with yesterday on the phone, I think, is I'm going to keep them in solo cups, do general hydro for 2 weeks in the solo cups and the 2x2 until I get the 4x8 tent that I just got set up fully with the Trolmaster, which we'll get into a little bit later. So I've got that going up right now. So right now I'm just trying to keep these little seedlings alive. I just want to say, if you're looking to get a shed going up, you got to check out the electrical issues because I'm running into some myself. I got to get an electrician out here to see if I can even run all these lights and all these fans with the AC that I'm getting.
Yeah.
So it's been a little stressful, but I've kind of just been...
I've been here on the sidelines watching that all happen. Like I forgot to tell him because when I did my shed, I watched a video and it said, check your electricity. So I did that at first. And then I never told you, I never relayed that to you when you were setting up a shed. And he got he's got, now he's a little bit deep into it. We'll get into that in a second, but he doesn't really know. We're growers, man. And we always see those memes about people connecting all the plugs together to get their grow to run. And that's kind of the true fact about it, because we're not electricians until we have to be. So now we're learning how to do it. But back then it was like, oh man, who cares? We're running 300 watts. Now we're running 1200 watts. So speaking of that, running 1200 watts, you're in a shed. The den is set up. is there any new technology that you're working with that our viewers might not know? Not just a tent, not just a light, but
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, so I got the 4x8 off of homie and OfferUp. It was like super close. Pulled up to his house. He sold me the 4x8, and then he sold me a Trolmaster along with it. So I've also, along with getting this shed up, I've been trying to learn how to install and how to use the Trolmaster. And honestly, I've had no complaints. It's been super simple to set up. It's basically a plug-and-play deal. You just plug in the power. You have to set up like the sensors and devices, but those are all extra. If you just get the Trolmaster itself, it'll come with the controller, a back plate to install it, 2 RJ12 cables, a T-shaped splitter, the power cable, and a 3-in-1 temp sensor.
Okay.
And I mean, it's kind of a great deal for the $500 they charge.
Yeah, it's kind of what you need to get started.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that is just the simple, like the bare
minimum. That is bare minimum.
So real quick, I wanted to say, because our viewers, some of them might know who Trolmaster is, some of them might not. A lot of people have a lot against Trolmaster because when you go look up Trolmaster, and he just stated this whole system that he got is originally, he bought it through a homie, but originally this is a $500 system. So people look at that and they're like, wow, oh my gosh. But the reality is, guys, if you look at other systems out there, they might be cheaper, but they probably have a membership. And that's the big thing that Trolmaster doesn't do right now is they don't have any membership. So yeah, everything's really expensive. But if you think about it in the long run, these guys with Arroyo sensors or these guys with GrowLink sensors, they're having to pay a monthly subscription of maybe $50, $50 a month to just see your data
very fast.
Exactly. So if you buy the $1,000 of Trolmaster equipment right now, you're never paying a membership on that. So
you spend $600 a year just in Arroyo memberships,
and just something small. Because I remember you were telling me about the Trolmaster, and I got a little bit excited about it. But I was like, dang, that's a steal because that's an expensive piece of equipment. But I don't know how bearable it would be for you to go out and be like, oh, I want my whole room to run on Trolmaster, because that would be another $500 that you would have to spend.
100%.
So I don't know. It goes both ways. I would try it out.
Yeah, thankfully, the guy that I got all the stuff off of for the 4x8 literally had every connection that I needed for the ThinkGrow LED. He had the light adapter. So I literally plugged everything in that he gave me. Yeah, so I can now control my deep red spectrum and my full spectrum on separate lines in the Trolmaster. Super helpful.
And that's
super useful.
That's a ThinkGrow.
It's a ThinkGrow LED. I don't know which model I have, honestly.
It's probably a Model H.
I didn't get the box with it. I literally pulled up and I had a bunch of...
Is it like 600 watts, 650 watts?
No idea. I know is I got it's a large box, and I have 8 like LEDs that you just click into it.
Oh, so you have 8 bars. Yeah, so it probably is the Model H, to be honest. If this guy's really killing it on in a 4x8 space, and he's already got the Trolmaster, he's got everything, like he probably went all out and got the Model H with it. So you said you're going to run, maybe General Hydro, one of those cheaper 3-part nutrients at first, just to get them through veg.
Yeah.
But when you're getting to, the point of transitioning, are you doing anything like auto watering system, maybe, or are you hand watering? I don't know.
I haven't decided yet. I'm literally on the fence between hand watering and trying to just get an automated irrigation system set up for like $135. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm kind of on the edge. I think I'm gonna automate my mom tent though, my 2x2 that I have all the seeds in right now. I think I'm gonna get that automated real quick so I can automate my mom's and just leave those be so I can start doing clones. But right now for the 4x8, I still really don't know. I still have to figure out. I don't have any irrigation or drainage in the shed itself. It's completely enclosed. So I would have to find out how I would get water into the shed and how I'd get water out of the shed, which is my 2 main problems.
Yep. And as we say on this show all the time, it's all situational. If he wanted, he'd do it the easiest way and just say, oh, runoff trays and all that stuff, but he can't. So he has to think outside the box, and the grow is our creative place,
I mean, I think it'd be awesome because I'm super curious. I think it'd be great if you would explain to the people a little bit about watering to no runoff. You could
Okay.
explain a little
Yeah.
bit how that works.
Yeah. I mean,
Because that's something I'm considering doing in the 4x8 if I do automated watering. I
oh,
am considering
yeah.
doing no runoff watering.
No runoff watering. Well, I tell a lot of people, and this is for the viewers, and this is the most simplified way of saying it. The easiest way to do no runoff, guys, is to do a living soil bed or to do something like a controlled release fertilizer. Now, a controlled release fertilizer, you are still going to have to get runoff once a week. That is going to reset your media and make sure that there's no excess of nutrients, or the nutrients that are lacking are actually getting off of the Orbi or whatever you want to, they call it like a space nerd that it's on, so you just want to reset that media and get it back to normal. But that's something you can easily do as a grower once a week and run around the room with a drain tray and water your plant, give it 15 minutes, go to the next one, water your plant. When you work with 18 plants, it's hard. When you're working with 26 plants, it's going to be hard to do that every little bit. But I always say go off the health of the plant. So if you're doing no runoff, if you start seeing that those plants are starting to get unhappy, then you should honestly try to give it some runoff to reset your media. But a great thing about CRF, controlled release fertilizer, is using things like bacteria, enzymes, and stuff like that. We're not caring about a reservoir as much. We don't have all the nutrients is already in the fertilizer, or in the media. So you can use whatever you want. You can water it in there and try it out. And a great thing to water in would be like recharge. And now you don't have to worry about pH as much, So that's the biggest reason you actually want to reset your media once a week, is so that you can have a good pH. But if you're using recharge, it might not even matter as much, So, and I'm not trying to shout out recharge or anything, but recharge in my past has given me the best success when I don't have a pH pen. You just put some recharge once a week and you'll get there, So,
And when you say CRF, which control release fertilizer would you be using?
Okay, so personally, I've looked a lot into the controlled release fertilizer realm and stuff. General Hydro has their own. There's Grow Dots, which is the Dude Grow shows, or Scotty from the Dude Grow shows
Parable
brand of
recharge.
them. Yeah, Parable Recharge. They always advertise that they're super Parable Recharge. I mean, any of them are going to be. They're the exact same like chemistry and technology, so they're going to work similar with all of them. But yeah, then you're going to have Beanstalk CRF, which is, if anybody knows from Instagram, his name's Poetry of Plants. He's been on a bunch of podcasts. He's a big guy in the community, and it's actually his brand that he supports and uses in his grows. So whatever one you want to use, they all basically work the same. Beanstalk CRF has the most controllability, where General Hydroponics has the least controllability, and right in the middle there is Dude Grows, and they're a reputable brand because of who they are. So yeah.
And so going back on the irrigation, what are you doing with your plants? Because I saw you just started Stretch. I've been seeing your posts too.
Oh, definitely.
So your plants are absolutely killing it.
Yeah, I flipped over, and I didn't even know this. I was looking into it. They went through this like week of pre-flower. They didn't they didn't show any sexual traits as much as they would, as I'm used to in the past. And I was looking into it, like, why are my plants doing this, stuff like that? Well, they're from seed, and I'm also trying to push them really hard and get them out very soon and start them blooming. Well, sometimes it's situational. My plants don't want to flip to flower, so they're going to do a pre-flower phase and give themselves a week where they can actually grow up a little bit more, fill out a little bit more, and then flip to flower. And that's exactly what they did. They grew a lot during that time, and now they're really starting their stretch. In the first 7 days of stretch, I got an inch a day. That's not pre-flower. Yeah.
But you're running Athena Pro line this run?
Yeah. I'm running Athena Pro line. I got a little reservoir under my tent. Like last time I did it, and it was just so easy. And I've been trying to get into, crop steering, irrigation strategies. I'm just interested in it, trying it out. On top of that, right now I'm trying to start what's called stacking the EC is what the crop steering bros know it as. And what I'm trying to do is you're kind of doing a natural PGR, should I say? And that's making it so these internodes are going to stack closer together. Pre-flower, they really started to stretch, like right after pre-flower was going on, they really started to stretch. But now they're starting to actually stack on top of each other, and these nodes are getting a lot closer together. So my plan is give them another 20 days of stretch, and everything that's really, really spaced out internodally, I'm going to tear that all off because it's probably going to be LARF, and it just doesn't have the same consistency I'm going to want higher. But I'll get into that when I actually get there.
Got you.
Now, I actually want to get back in, and we just talked about my stacking and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm doing is doing irrigation strategies, irrigation schedules, trying to really steer my environment in the right way. And you were talking earlier about the Trolmaster. The Trolmaster is something I wanted for so long because right now I'm doing the most caveman way of controlling my environment in this crop steering way, which is not how you should be doing it. If I had the $500, I'd probably buy the Trolmaster. But now that you have one, you got to let us know, how is it, have you got it connected up to your phone where you can start data logging? Because I've heard people that hate the Trolmaster because they don't use it to its full capacity. So
yeah, so that was a big issue I ran into. My shed is pretty far from my house, so it's not really connected to any type of Wi-Fi, and there's no router inside of it. And the only way you can connect your Trolmaster to Wi-Fi is through Ethernet cable, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know why they would make a device like that, but I mean, I guess it does provide like the most secure connection in the Wi-Fi aspect of it. So I can understand why they would want it if it was made for like commercial growers. Like you would want the most stable connection possible. You wouldn't really want to rely on just like wireless internet, So I understand. However, for the home grower, this makes it 10 times more difficult to connect to the Wi-Fi if you don't have a router nearby. However, I was looking up, I was doing some research, and they do offer a Wi-Fi booster / adapter that you can just plug in to the power source, and you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and then from that device, you can run an Ethernet cable out of that adapter to the Trolmaster. Trolmaster actually made a video on it.
They might have one too on it. I've heard about those devices where they're like Wi-Fi range extender type of things where they have an Ethernet port like on it. It's wireless connection, but you have the accessibility to connect something to an Ethernet, basically. So, I mean, the reality is when you are connecting stuff to internet, especially for a commercial grow, you probably, like you said, do want a really hefty connection to it and not have anything that's wireless. So it does make a lot of sense why they did that, but it could be cool if they put in a different thing for the wireless growers, which they kind of did with this, but it's just some extra. It's some extra.
It's an extra $60 that you have to pay to get this adapter.
Exactly. And that's
which is basically I'm pretty sure that's what a sensor for Trolmaster runs for, is like $60.
It's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think
or something like that. So like you have to substitute now
the cost of a sensor for
over Wi-Fi. Exactly. So, exactly. And also something to keep to note, at least, is that you cannot use the app without the Wi-Fi.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because it can't really relay the data to your phone in any way. So essentially now it's just a hardwired device that's only in your grow, wherever that is. That you can
only manually control.
Exactly. You can only see what's going on at the actual controller.
Which, yes, Trolmaster does have great, night setting, day setting, all that type of stuff. But for a grower, it's a lot easier to say, especially with a shed that's not even close to you, that sometimes you're, at your homie's house or whatever on a night and you're like, well, I need to check if my plants got watered. I need to check if I got, if my lights turned on.
Exactly.
And you just want to be able to check that right there, safe and sound, and not be stressed about it.
I mean, like you said, though, it's pros and cons. You don't have to pay for a membership.
Exactly. So was your only problem was your only problem the Wi-Fi, or did you get to set up the light? Did you learn how to set up maybe the like? You said earlier that this light has far red on it. Is there a way
Yes.
to control the far red, all that different type of stuff?
So basically, there's like 5 ports on the Trollmaster. Or 5 ports. There's a power port, the internet. Then you have 1 port for sensors, 1 port for devices, and then a line 1 and a line 2 for your lights.
Okay. So you actually have 2 different separate lines for your lights.
Yeah. So they come with these weird like box things that are like extenders. So you can basically relay a bunch of lights. So I think you can run like almost like 10, 15 lights on a single Trollmaster. If you just have these boxes that you just relay and you like connect each light to itself and then run it in a circle almost, I think.
I think it's 100 lights. Just to put it out there.
That's
per
wild.
line or whatever. So
that's
yeah,
wild.
It's and that's why you said earlier it's for the commercial grower. Like we're home growers, so we're like, oh man, 2 lights, but it's like no, you're talking about 100 lights.
Well, I don't know how you would. I don't think you can run the thing grow with like a multiple light setup. I think it's like you need a different light for that because at least for mine, my light adapter, it can only run like I have a line port for the full spectrum, and then I have another like my line 2 is for the full red. So I don't really have space to like put anything else.
So you're using up both lines already.
Both lines are being used for my one singular light. However, now I have more control over full spectrum and deep red spectrum.
But let me also put in there that for the people that don't know, like you can only control the environment for one grow room. So the idea that you're having 2 lines of lights for 2 different grow rooms is kind of off-putting because you're not really doing that because you can only control the environment with this Trolmaster for one room. So it would make more sense for them to say, oh, we're going to make a light that can use both lines for different working instead of you saying, oh, I'm going to buy this, but how are we going to control the environment of the other room? We can only control the lights.
I don't know. There's so many things. Like the Trolmaster is so complex when it gets down to like relaying things. They have plugs. They don't just have like sensors. They have plugs. They have unbelievable amounts of things. Yeah, it's
everything.
It gets very crazy.
Those were about the problems. You got into basically
problems.
Yeah, I couldn't really even think of another thing you would have a problem with it other than the annoyance of Wi-Fi and
the Wi-Fi was my biggest issue.
Okay, so for the growers out there that want the Trolmaster, just remember, take in consideration you're paying an extra, basically the cost of a device or a sensor for just being able to connect your device up to internet. So that's now $560, plug it into the Wi-Fi, and you're spending for what you have, I think it'd be more like $620 because you already have the light thing, right?
Yeah.
So now you got Wi-Fi, light, and the system for $620. So it might actually make more sense for somebody running a 10 light room or a 15 light room rather than somebody running a 4 light room, for instance.
So Chicken, tell me about how you've been getting into your stretching. Have your plants stretched a lot? Said that you were getting a couple inches a day before. So what's it looking like?
Yeah. The stretching, normally you're going to get a lot of stretch. Normally in 21 days, you're going to see this plant go 3 times the size of what it was. And that's like a healthy stretch, 2 to 3 times the size. One thing I did notice though is with this pre-flower, pre-bloom thing, the difference of when I flower out with clones versus when I flower out with the seeds. It also made me think that maybe it would be a lot healthier if people start running like a pre-flower kind of phase automatically. I know Build a Soil does their pre-flower phase. They'll do it a week before they start flower. They'll switch their lights to either 14:10 or it's 16:8.
Okay.
So you could definitely do that, and it would probably kind of ease your plants into the lights changing and going down to a 12:12 instead of going 18:6 or 24:0 to a 12:12. On a clone, I haven't seen a problem. When you flip a clone and you go under 12:12, that clone within 2 days is already showing you pre-flower traits. It just wants to go, But with this feed, it really made me open my eyes with all that stuff,
Interesting. And I saw you posted recently on the story When do you recommend to dump the second trellis on? Because you said you did pre-flower, you did your week of pre-flower, and
Mm-hmm.
then you said you're going to dump your trellis on in a couple days or in a week?
Yep. So I'm counting this. I actually did 2 trellises already, and I didn't really tell the viewers this, but I did 2 trellises already. It's just one on top of the other for my first trellis. If you look closely on some of the videos, you can see
Okay.
that it's just 2 trellises on top. That's for support. That's for me training, trying to really get those, that thing pushed around and get it supported. But
Mm-hmm.
when I put the second trellis on, it's going to be much more for the secondary training and really making sure my canopy is filled out. And then the third layer is probably going to be put on about day 18, where
Got
I'm
you.
and I'm counting this as right now I'm counting it as day 7 because of the pre-flower week that I had. I'm counting this
Okay.
as day 7 of flower, day 7 of stretch. So day 8, I'm doing my second, and probably day 18, 19, I'm going to do my third. So it's only going to grow a few inches more, maybe a few centimeters more right through the trellis, and have the support where at the top heavy buds can get. But yeah, give it a wait, man. You're going to see hopefully some pretty crazy buds. This is the healthiest I've ever had any home grow ever. One other speculation I want to go through on stretch is a lot of people think the stretch phase is when you can speed up the grow, and they try to like shorten stretch. For instance, there's products out there that say that they can shorten stretch. One thing that's important to know about stretch is this one, you're really putting the real biomass on your plant. So if you're really wanting yield and quality, stretch is going to be some of the most important time of your plant's whole life, to get the highest quality. There's a lot of growers out there that are trying to push their bloom down, for instance, to like 56 days, 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's necessarily that healthy. I think a lot of people should already plan on doing a 10-week bloom. So you have a 1 week of pre-flower, for instance, and then you have a good week of flush or ripening or whatever you want to do. If you want to pull it earlier because it's looking like you should pull it earlier, as with your case in the last grow, then that's the decisions made by the grower to do so. But
Mm-hmm.
if you really do have, I see a lot of people that run their strain for 63 days, and they'll run 10 to 14 day veg. Usually what they're doing, and they don't tell people this, is they're running like a 4-day rooting in period, and then they're running a 10-day pre-flower or a 7-day pre-flower,
Okay.
and that's really what they're doing. And that's going to kick that plant into gear to, load the most biomass and the most weight onto each branch. I used to do that too, where I was like, oh my gosh, I can have a 4-week veg and an 8-week flower, and I have a plant in 3 months. Don't cut yourself short. If you're a really beginner out there, give yourself 5 months. I'm not joking. I think it took me to actually have bud on my plant. It took me 4.5 months, 5 months, and after cure and everything like that, you're looking at 6 months, half a year. And I'm not trying to get anybody away from this. I'm just trying to really make you realize that you are in it for the long run. It is something that you want to take your time with for high quality. And once you get high quality and you learn how to grow and you learn your plants and your strains, now you can hit those 3-month grows. Now you can have a week of veg and flip it into flower and have a 9-week flower. That's a 10-week strain. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
crazy. That's pretty efficient, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
do that at first. Don't think you can do that at first. Don't expect it. Other than that, man, thanks for the support to everybody out there. It's been awesome lately. Go review us on Apple Podcasts, please, and
The
review us on
THC Tutors
Spotify too.
podcast on Apple
Yes.
Podcast, at THC Tutors
Yes.
on Instagram.
Yes.
We'll respond quickly. If you have any questions, hit us in the reviews, hit us in the
Yeah.
comments. We'll go over them at the end of a video if you guys want. Just
And
drop
thanks
some
for all the
questions.
comments. Hey, we're early podcasters, man. This is just so starting. Thanks for all the comments.
We appreciate the reviews on the Apple Podcast. Killing
exactly. There's a lot of stuff you guys are saying that is making us open our eyes and say, wow, podcasters are supposed to simplify stuff, and we're kind of diving into really advanced topics way too soon. So thank you guys so much for everything out there, and grower love.
Grow with love, guys. Have a great day, guys.